good evening gamers, and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. Obviously we are in our final night of this week. It's been a hectic one. There's been upsets, there's been some crazy stuff going on, but something that is certain is my partner tonight. I'm joined once again by the wonderful Hugo. I mean, obviously it's been a pretty insane week, and then coming into the final day, we've also got an interesting matchup to kick it off with a bang. It's the Danish Derby.
It is indeed North versus Heroic, a match I'm sure lots of people are wanting to see it. All the Danes and everyone really who's a fan of ESL Pro League, surely, because this is just a great matchup on paper. We've got awesome two maps here. Again, both these teams have similar map pools, so that really results in kind of the best game possible, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it will be an exciting one. We'll have a look at those standings as well, just see where things have started to pan out, obviously, throughout the season so far. We're kind of at that halfway point now, and obviously on the final day. There was some interesting results, obviously, going through yesterday, where we saw Na'Vi and North in their matchup, now being moved up to that second and third place. Yeah,
it's overtaking Astralis as well, both of them splitting maps, which was, well, quite expected going into it, but after watching the first map, which was a domination for North, we didn't really expect Na'Vi to pull it back, so good Brazilians on their front to take Mirage.
Yeah, definitely interesting results. Ninjas in Pyjamas as well. Obviously, they were in that 14th place for quite a long time throughout this season. They've now climbed their way up that ladder and got to the 8th place, kind of in the mid-table. Fnatic very close as well there on 7th. What sort of overall is something that really sticks out to you, though?
Well, I mean, just backing up on Nip quickly, is they got 6 losses to start off the season, and now the 6 wins, they've all had it all in a row since they had Draken. Every single match they played with Draken, they have won so far. So that's actually quite interesting to look up at, and I'm interested to see if that carries on. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about it over the previous 2 nights. We've got G2 there at the bottom. Really weird to see, considering they're meant to be the French powerhouse, but we're going to be watching their game on later against Kingwin, who's also just, gripping their thighs at the bottom of the league as well. So an interesting one there. And, other than that, I think most of this is fairly fair, to be honest, other than VP at the bottom, but you kind of expect that considering they are, on landers, I guess you could say.
And obviously with Kingdom as well, it's interesting. They had a fairly good start to the season. They looked like they were actually performing very well, obviously coming into things. I mean, they made their way through that relegation spot as well, so it's interesting to see them come back into it and start to tear it up, and then all of a sudden they just went quiet, and they've been getting pounded on since.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons, at least of Kingdom being at the bottom of there, is I don't think they've played as many games as everyone else, so while a lot of teams have been overtaking and going above and beyond, for example, Hellraisers, who were near the bottom at the beginning of this week and now up to 5th place, things like that, standings have been changing, Nip's gone up, so I think that's just, as a result, forced Kingwood down. And I think, to be honest, looking at the matchup they have later, they may be able to gain themselves a couple of spots back.
It'll be interesting to see if they can actually grab that. And let's have a look at that schedule as well, so we can see the matchups that will be coming down later, and also the games going on over on the mainstream. Virtus Pro going up against Mouse Sports to kick the night off, and then obviously the big one over on the mainstream will be FaZe versus Astralis. The rematch, obviously, that's a very interesting game to see.
Yeah, definitely coming back off of IM Katowice, and now both these teams playing in the Pro League as well. I can't watch it, but I can definitely keep up to date on the scores of that one.
Well, you know what you can do, Hugo? You can grab the VODs of that match later if you head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to that, guys. But meanwhile as well on the secondary stream, where you'll be witnessing all of the stuff going on with us guiding you through the action tonight. Of course, the Danish Derby to kick it off, it is going to be North versus Heroic. Should be a close match. I mean, Heroic haven't looked too bad. They've been showing signs of improvement. North, though, looking very scary from what we saw yesterday. And then to round it up, it will be that G2 Kingwin game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Heroic are a team that I really like to look at least. They have that ability to kind of upset a lot of top teams. And coming into IM Katowice, a lot of teams kind of went, and people just went, well, really, you just disregard them. I don't think they're going to be relevant at all. And they actually made it quite far. They made it out of groups. Obviously, I think they came first in their groups and went straight to the semis where they lost against Immortals. But yeah, really good performance from them across the board. I'm interested to see how they continue out through the rest of the Pro League. Currently sitting at 9th place, but again, I feel like give them some more time, maybe a slow burn, watch them play some of these lesser teams that they should be able to clean up, but this definitely is not a lesser team, Jackie.
It's true, it's not. And also one of the ways you can kind of invigorate your teams and show your support behind them is if you want to pick up one of their jerseys. If you head over to our ESL store, you can grab the jersey. Obviously, North's down there. It looks very beautiful, one you would want to wear around. I mean, it's quite subtle as well. You can wear that outside.
Yeah, definitely, and not be bullied for being a gamer, It's always nice. You get that a lot. I know you get that a lot, Jackie, okay? You can talk about it, all right?
That's true. I told you not to mention that.
I'm sorry.
Okay. But yeah, obviously, guys, you can grab that jersey if you wish to do so, as North coming in with an opening one. And they're going to show you a reason to wear that with pride as they come into this. But Heroic, definitely by no means should you count them out. It will be a tight matchup, and the things as well, where it's more domestic, for the both of them being from the same scene, they practice a lot against each other. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the flow of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited with the map pool as well. We've talked about this a bit. Overpass and Mirage. Again, these teams have very similar map pools. They like Nuke, they like Overpass, and they like Mirage really being their main picks. North, I think the map pool at least is a very, very more wide, whereas Heroic kind of only had those few maps, but both both of them being similar. So we do have those two today. And I feel like with both of them having good recent results on them, both of them being able to put up maps consistently against, top tier opposition, I think this really could go, potentially some OTs, potentially a split map. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, so a lot of potential for this to actually go the whole hog there, work their way through. Obviously, there's two maps coming into it now. As you said, you briefly sort of gave your thoughts in it, but with the map pool sort of playing into hands, that first map, what are sort of your thoughts overall in terms of how that will affect the play of the game?
Well, obviously it's going to be an interesting one. I feel like coming down to both these maps, I don't think either one is going to be more favoured towards Heroic or North. I think overall, I just kind of got to put all my eggs in one basket and go to North, just as being the better team, the more well-rounded team. And while Heroic have had recent success with the recent addition of Yugi, for example, I still feel like I don't think they've incorporated him well enough into the lineup to consistently say that they can definitely win this one. I think there's potential for upset, but I feel like both these maps, while they are equal, they just inherently favour North being the better team.
It's true, and North actually posting a lot better results as well. They've been looking more dominant, sure. As you said, Yugi coming in there has definitely affected the flow of the game and allowed Heroic to sort of utilise the rest of their players in more of an effective fashion. Yugi's been very good at getting those openers for them, something that they were lacking on in the past. Now that's come into effect, it is working. But as you said, obviously, things are new. They haven't really been a team too long with Yugi being added into it, so it's taking a while for everything to sort of find its way through, buff out all the kinks, and actually get themselves into a good situation to use him.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually think it's quite entertaining to see Yugi in this lineup as well. I was definitely a big fan of him over on Tricked, and I was kind of hoping that he would get a bit of an opener into another level in the Danish scene. While Tricked are obviously a great team, they seem to just be sitting around the same level. They always have. They've never really gone above or below where they are, and despite constantly having to change rosters because Heroic are picking up all their players like Nico before, I still feel like they're a great team, and Yugi was just carrying them throughout. And then we saw him go to Heroic, and I think his first official game with Heroic was in the Pro League, and he dropped something like 33 frags. He went absolutely off, and he continues to do so every single game. That's the thing I love about him. He is consistent, but I still feel like Heroic need a bit of time if they want to, cement their place as the second best Danish team. I think that's a big thing to ask. We've got so much Danish competition. We've got Astralis, arguably the best team in the world right now. I think we can all agree. North, close up in second place, but still able to take off maps away from them. I mean, we saw them recently, I think, in EPL take away Overpass away from Astralis, one of their best maps, 16-4 it was. And now going up against Heroic, I wouldn't at all say a tier below, but definitely not on the level. But yeah, there's definitely room for growth here for Yugi and Heroic as a team together.
It's true. And talking about those highlight plays as well, why don't we rewind and check out some of the highlight plays that went down over on week 3 to get ourselves ready for this matchup.
Apex is very low, but he's at the back of the pack here as well. Headshot comes in, 3 kills for AZ!
Zipix catches him with the UMP. It's Taz inside of the site. Push from both sides. Good headshot on Zonic. As he walks in against clothesline, Taz dances back and forth to find 3.
He's going to try to hold against this one. Finds that first one, finds that second one. There's one more to go, and he gets it! And there's one more sitting back on the balcony, too. Give it time to go for the reload. This one's low as well, and there you go. Finesse holds on a miracle box.
Has to as well against the pistols. Rain takes them down. That could be an issue. Because the op's gone inside of the site, they're going to push on. Exist can't find openings. The longer he takes to find them, the sooner they get on top of the site. It's down to Rain.
How many clutches does he want today? He's got an M4 as well, 35 seconds remaining. Get the bomb just here, just towards long. Oh god, if that shot hits. My god, he's doing it.
He might just do it. Pick the find! Rain! That's insanity!
The time when they flash over and they push, A with all 5, only able to get 2 kills now. But I think that is all that they will get.
Oh no! Oh, what? This is somehow going down to a 1v1 as FNX takes down nothing since he runs out of ammo. Doesn't have armor, mind you, but still, he's upgraded to an AK, but he might get caught reloading here. They both jump out of the open and FNX!
Oh my god!
What is that? He destroys Cloud9 and does the impossible!
Wow, some awesome stuff there to try and get you guys ready for the action that will be coming up very, very shortly. Now, Hugo, coming into it, both of these teams have star power, but from what we saw yesterday with North, you kind of got to hedge your bets towards them. Obviously, we saw just how loose they can be in terms of their play style, but they're just so good.
Yeah, really, really fun to see them actually just completely tear Na'Vi apart in the first map. We saw 16-4 over on Cobble, and that was something that was, quite unexpected. Yeah. We said that would be a map pick that would go the favour of North, and we both predicted them to at least pick that up, but I don't think any of us expected it to be that dominant. So seeing that they could actually perform so well against top-tier opposition like that is really, really impressive to see.
It's true. They really came in hard and fast. They sort of strutted their stuff there, and it was just an insane series overall. If you guys didn't see that one, definitely go and check it out over on the YouTube channel. It was just insane. I mean, coming into it as well, North, if they can play to that level once again today, you've got to be scared, because obviously Heroic, coming into it, they've had times where they've just looked shaky. They've never really been there to full power. When they perform to the best of their ability, Heroic do look like a very effective team, but it just seems like we have small moments of communication breakdowns that causes to hurt them.
I would definitely agree, and I would argue that in that sense they're a bit inconsistent. I mean, we look at them doing well in some leagues, for example, ECS kind of smashing their way through the Dev League, whereas we compare them with other things and we go, oh, well, they weren't even able to qualify for SLI League, which is something we really expected. You know, there was some good competition in there, but they lost to Godsent, who is a team you would now argue is not really of that same level. You'd like to think not, at least, with not having the old, Crims and having Flusher and everyone in the roster. So it's interesting to see their inconsistencies, and I feel like that does rely on the individual performance, because we have these star players over in Heroic. We have Yugi, we have Nico. These are the players or some of them that we expect to see step up and do very, very well. And when they don't, they really have their own issues. Yeah,
that's the thing. Those sort of small moments that allow the team to fall apart. And Heroic, they just sort of need that extra kick. Obviously, we sort of touched upon the map pool there. If you just give me a brief overview of the entire series as well. Say we have a bit of an abysmal play coming into map 1, just sort of, theoretically. If they do get pounded on map 1, obviously coming back into map 2, the map pool is sort of pairing on both of these. It crosses over. Both of them are going to feel fairly comfortable, but how do you feel working into map 2 for them then?
I mean, it's so hard to predict, as I said, because both these teams almost have the same win percentage. And again, you've also got to look at statistics, right? I like breaking things down with statistics. I think that's one of the better ways to look at it. And at least looking at statistically their win rates on these maps, you've got to say they're both inflated because of their participation in the Dev League. Obviously, North lost their spot over in ECS due to changing organizations, and Dignitas obviously now having that spot over in ECS. So North is having to be playing through the Dev League alongside Heroic, when you would say they most definitely just need to be into the main league. They're at that level. They're in Pro League, for example. So the fact of the matter is North have been inflating their stats, and so has Heroic to some extent. So at least looking actual statistically over on the maps, while both of them have great win rates on both Mirage and Overpass, I don't think you can make too fair of a prediction. I think if it is going to be a split map pool or a split map 1-1, I think it's going to be even hard to predict that without seeing how the first one goes.
It's true. So obviously statistics there might not be showing the whole story, so we don't really have too much of a benchmark as we work our way into it. So it'll be interesting to see just how they perform on paper. And that's the thing as well, performance is pretty important just down individually, because North, I mean, if everyone pops off, we saw just how usable MSL was. He was leading by example yesterday, the in-game leader for the side, but it looked like he was the entry fragger. I mean, it was frag after frag. He was just playing with such prowess, and everyone was really going wild. And the thing is, they've had that little bit of time off to focus on themselves individually as players. They've come back now. Their practicing schedule's a lot more booked in. They're really giving it their A game now, and you can see that reflected in their playstyle.
Yeah, definitely. And MSL, he wasn't even just kicking off on the first map; he did it on both maps. He was phenomenal across the whole series. So actually, looking at him individually, I'm very, very excited to see if he's going to continue to bring that A game into this series. And if he does, again, combined with the power of Config and Magisk, the players that usually step up as well here for North, if you add in a third one just on top of that, it's just almost an unstoppable lineup for sure.
It really is. And guys, whilst we're just having a bit of time before we get into the game, you guys at home, whilst you're playing your SEA pugs, you might want something to try and aid you a little bit, help you out. So we're going to show you some fantastic flashbangs over on Overpass to help you get some cheeky kills.
Hey Future Pros, we have a flash for you that should aid in pushing through the monster tunnel on Overpass. This flash should leave your teammates unaffected, while the CTs should be blind as heck. To do this flash, line yourself up over the tip of this bottle. Aim over the wall slightly and to the right, and then throw the flash. That's it. This should make the Rush B Don't Stop strat work way more in your favor.
There you go, guys. Aiding you when you try and slip your way in towards that B bomb site. Now, Hugo as well, obviously coming into it, as much as it's important to try and get this win on the board, and we've spoke about that, the thing is, getting wins on the board is nothing unless it pushes you up the standings, because you want to try and make your way to those finals over in Dallas. Now, how is this going to affect the standings? This is going to be an impactful game coming through.
Definitely, right? So we look at North, they're all the way up over the top, and we look at Heroic kind of having their struggles 9th out of 14th in the placings. And the thing is, while a lot of people look at that and go, oh, Heroic are very low down, you got got to take into account it's only taking 1 or 2 maps to separate the teams going from top to bottom at the end of the day. For example, if Heroic, it's a big ask, but if they actually manage to 2-0 this series, that will force them up into 5th place alongside teams like Hellraisers over on 21 points, because they've got 15 right now, and 2 wins will get them up to 21. So that is crazy, considering you can move from 9th to 5th within just one evening of playing 2 single maps. So actually, while the standings are very close, Heroic could actually just be one little bit behind North after just this one series.
Yeah, so it really could actually bump them up there and help them out a lot. That's sort of the thing overall with the standings so far. It's been heavily contested. There's some results that have been kind of upsets in terms of where people are, and because of that, where a lot of this season has been kind of unpredictable with some of the scorelines that have been coming through, it's changed a lot of where you're expecting to be situated. So it does make it easier for Heroic to try and slip their way back in potentially.
Definitely, and as well, flicking it back onto North, right? They're obviously just at the top. I think second place, as I said, alongside Na'Vi in third, and we were expecting one team to hopefully take the lead, not have a split map, have a bit of a domination, move forward, because both North and Na'Vi are just same points next to each other in terms of round difference is the only separating factor. And as they split maps, they both moved up a place, forced Astralis down, but neither of them really separated. So I think this, for going on for North as well, in a more likely situation when they 2-0, if they manage to do that, they'll be up alongside Mousebots at the top. Obviously, we've talked about them a bit as the team who's, very surprisingly being able to make their way to the top, and now having more games tonight, it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue holding on to that top placement. But even if not, North could definitely step away and steal first place away.
Yeah, that's true. And also, while we've got a little bit of time, why don't we touch on that with Mousebots? Because it is quite interesting. Obviously, the removal of Nico, the player that kind of everyone touched on as being the only reason they were getting anywhere with that lineup. He was kind of the shining star that dragged them through. And now, since his departure, everyone's kind of stepped up around him. You've seen Denix actually finally getting into more of an effective role. He kind of was that support player in terms, but he didn't really have any great individual performances. Now he started to step up, and it seems like Spiddy as well. Everyone started to get a little bit more hyped.
Yeah, it's really weird as well, because it doesn't make any sense on paper, right? You remove your best player and somehow the team's doing far better than it was before. I think one of the reasons maybe because of the again, it's hard to tell because we are looking at online matches, so I think it'd be great to see them at the finals to compare, but at least looking at the matches so far, maybe the fact that Nico was calling in the previous roster, maybe it affected the way that they played. Now that we've moved on, I think it's Dennis calling for the team, or Spiddy. It's one of the 2 German players. I think it's Dennis, but don't quote me. Now that he's calling, it could completely switch up the roles. People could be playing differently. Maybe Nico was just calling to put himself in the best situation. That's why he was doing so well. Not taking away from him, of course, but maybe it might have been holding back the rest of the players from having this star performance that we're now seeing out from Dennis and Spiddy. So I think it's really interesting to see how it continues. And as they have more time to kind of work on the team, get better, and continue, and maybe even get their place over in Dallas for the LAN finals, I think it'll be very interesting. We need to keep our eye on Mousebots.
Yeah, definitely. Keep a close eye on them. But why don't we keep a close eye on today's matchup as we work our way in? Obviously, it is going to be Heroic versus North to kick it off tonight. It should be an exciting one. The map will be Overpass. The teams are lock-in. North will be your CTs. Heroic over on that T side. Let's see how this opening pistol round is going to go.
Full armor for both teams. No dirty nade business going on here, and a kit, a lack of from North, is going to mean Heroic just need to get this bomb down. They'll be in a great situation, but a fast connector play here as we have MSL to hold things off. He did well yesterday, but can he continue his form? Cajun's pushed up. They may not expect there's a Magisk in Cajun. There we go. That's what we're looking for. 3 quick headshots. The bomb dropped, and Heroic dismembered.
Yep, left with just 2 men left standing. This is a brutal round to kick things off. Not really how Heroic wanted to try and start this game. 2 players left standing. The peak will come through from AZ, trying to take them down, but Modi actually connecting the headshot. The Swedish superstar trying to get some energy behind him as he will find that opening frag. They slip their way through to the B bomb site now. But the thing is, minute and 12 left to play with. Sure, you still had 2 players left. Now only 1 as Modi gets executed, but the bomb is in such an awkward location. This round was essentially as good as done as soon as those first 3 frags went the way of North.
Yeah, North just with the perfect read, the perfect setup for that pistol round. They had Cajun pushed up, they had MSL covering the connector, and the thing is, MSL, as soon as he spotted that first player, he was just able to back off because he knew that Cajun was in such a position that if MSL baited these players to chase him down with those Glocks like they did, Cajun could just pick them off from an off angle. They wouldn't expect him to be so pushed up towards Party. So really good setup there for North. Even if that was a fast fountain play over towards A, they would have also had a perfect setup because they had 3 players over towards the site. So yeah, good, clean stuff. Going to keep plenty of players alive. By coming into the second round, and we got a lot of rifles as well.
Yep, as they invest very heavily. Smart stuff coming through. Obviously, those 3 rifles. They're going to run the risk a little bit. Those Famises, you won't be able to get those nades out, and you do sort of, you come back to bite yourself a little bit, but they just want to try and play this one safe, use the range advantage in their favour. They don't want to run the risk of potentially letting a round slip and going in the favour of Heroic. MSL comes out with the opening frag, though. Will take the fight upon Nico. Beats him down in the playground. He's being a bit of a bully.
And no trade as well. He gets tagged up, but they could have chased him down in that position. Unfortunately for them, though, he's going to just slip away. Valdi trying to look for another kill, but the rifles will be thrown over, giving that FAMAS over to Cajun. The rifle in the hands of Magisk. As you can see, North are just going to reposition passive on the site. We have 3 players as well, so if Heroic want to commit towards this side of the map, they are going to be in a real confrontation, but instead, heading back towards B, the area where the Tech 9 rush does work. They don't have a flashbang, so Rush's little, flashbang B-Rush tutorial is not going to come into effect for them just yet, but they will be setting up here for this play. Config spotted a couple of players, but no bomb in sight just yet, so we're not going to see a full rotation by any means. And he is just holding on for the time being, as he waits for Heroic to make their presence known. And there we go. We see Valdi. He pops out. Now the rest of them about to charge on in.
Yeah, trying to take that fight. Can Config ward them off, though the peek comes through, but instantly Dink knocked down to 3 HP, tries to take the fight, but Modi will eliminate him. Easy, though, starts to go crazy as he works his way through. An easy spray down comes into effect. 3k for him, MSL with the final one upon Snappy, and they work their way through. It looked like it might have been awkward, but they were able to close it out.
Lots of cash there with the UMP, going to allow them to have a full rifle and armor and nade buy into this round, which is very, very good. Surprising to see it brought up so early, considering Heroic are almost, most definitely going to be full ecoing this one. So I feel like a lot of teams in this situation buy up. But what I would like to see is if you lose a player or two in the previous round, you know the enemies are going to be full eco. Just have one pistol player, have a USP or a P250, because again, if you lose another one of your rifles, that P250 player can actually pick up the gun and not have to reinvest in it. So yeah, it saves you money, but again, it is the risk, because Heroic, in theory, could force up this round. It isn't going to happen, though. It's just Glocks across the board and a swift elimination round just ahead of us in the hands of North.
Yeah, you imagine they would have got all 3 of these, and the second round was the only one that would have been a bit of a hard task. Easy stuff, though, as they hold their crossfires. Magic's going to come in with the opening 3k as well. 2 nice headshots. Cajun with the final backstab, but now is where the real game begins. The investment will come out. The AKs are on display for the side of Heroic as the buy goes through.
Yeah, lots of rifles. No AWP on Yugi just yet, but they've still got all AKs and obviously plenty of utility to work with alongside that. No AWP either for North, and they're actually kind of going to just stick with these FAMASes and the UMP. Not quite a bonus round, as they obviously have a fair amount behind it, but it's still on the edge, so it's not too much of an issue. They do lose this. They can reinvest next round, as they've saved a lot of players from these previous rifle and SMG mix rounds, as Magic, he pushes up to the position where Cajun was in the pistol, up towards that party, looking for an opener. We have a double split towards long, so even if they come out of this playground here and they take down Magix, he's almost a bait, because he has his support over towards long, and they can just double push the second he spots out Yugi here. So it'll be interesting to see if Heroic walk into the crosshairs, because there's no way these long players will push until Magix spots him. There we go, he peeks. Now the teammates push out from long, and they do great work. One quick kill for AZ, a trade, but Cajun's right back on the trigger. It's a man advantage taken for North.
Yep, good situation to be in so far, leaving just 2 players left on the Heroic side. The bomb down an easy angle to hold as well. Valde trying to make it better, but not able to find the frag. Modi, though, will do damage towards that P-bomb site, but still, once again, they might have a man left in the round, but it's as good as done. The bomb is in such an awkward location. Surely he won't be able to retrieve it. Seems like he will try and take the fight, though, but the peak into MSL's crosshair, just lining him up. A very easy frag, catches him off guard. North shutting down that opening buy round so easily there.
I love the setup, an aggressive play to switch things up just to take the first buy away, and that will almost allow them to pick up 5 here, as Heroic are unlikely to force buy into this one. Light pistols and maybe some armor on some of these players at a very max, but I can't imagine too much here. Bit of utility alongside, that will allow them to fast play into a site, but North still looking clean, and the AWP on Cajun's going to be a real peacemaker here as he pushes up towards the A site. No one in position. Heroic instead just setting up for this fast B. It is going to be a Molotov to hold them off just for a few more seconds to push into that short area. AZ just trying to spot for some information. Nades will be thrown out, and not just holding back for the time being, but I think they're fully aware of what Heroic are doing.
Yeah, as the peak comes through as well, MSL, the in-game leader, easy picking so far as he will take down Valde. Smart stuff as well, doesn't overextend. The thing is, you tried for a bit of a risky play, easy stuff as soon as you get the opening frag. He doesn't need to overextend this point. They still have a heavy advantage into this round, so why would you run the risk? Nico, close to connecting that Deagle shot, stacking them up. MSL might not be aware how many players are close by. Smokes go over as well. He is forced to fall back. They're just going to try and overwhelm him as they push through Monster. But it's an easy spray down. Everyone gets killed, leaving just Snappy to try and achieve something.
Config needs to stay alive here. Just keep that money good for the CT side. No reason for him to be peeking aggressively at all. And he can just hold back with the support of his teammates. So 4 over towards the B site and the bomb in their hands. There's no issue right now for the side of North. Snappy unlikely to pick anything up. We know the Tech 9 can be a very dangerous weapon, but it's a tall order, and with plenty of utility left for North to really hold off this final player. There's no real need for them to push. They can just hold on to this, and I like this as well, because so many players would hunt in this position, but knowing Heroic aren't going to be saving a Tech 9 and armor, and even if they did, it wouldn't matter. There's no need to get aggressive. They've got bomb control. 30 seconds remain, meaning Snappy, he's really got to pull the trigger sooner or later, and he will. Magix takes him down, though. 5-0 for North. Flawless. That's great money here for the CT side, and Heroic going back into the buy, but this time we're going to see an AWP on Yugi.
Yep, the buyer's coming through. It'll be important to see what he can actually bring. This is where Heroic need to assert their dominance as well. Obviously, going into the first buy round, Cash wasn't as stellar as you'd want it to be, so that orb wasn't actually donned, and he kind of is, you know, the pizzazz behind the team. He needs to be able to do some damage. Only factor is as well, Cajun B. Obviously, we know how crazy Cajun can be when he has the orb in his hands. It's really going to be a bloodbath if both of these get into some aggressive angles. Cajun as well wants to kick it off, but Valde actually punishes him. He goes for the peak. You'd imagine he'd pick it up in that scenario, but it doesn't go that way.
Heroic, great combo play there. Both Nico and Valde doing the damage, and now they're going to have to back off. Magix is forced back towards the site. Config will relieve some of the tension by removing Modi from the equation, but Magix is still alone over towards A. We can instantly see the rotation coming in from AZ, and maybe a little bit more here as they're aware that Heroic have a lot of map control towards shore. That will be one from Nico. That should force a double rotation. Two players of North making their way back up through the CT spawn, worming their way towards that A site. AZ and MSL here, leaving just a solo player Config over towards B, but Heroic, they seem like they've actually switched up the pace here, and I like this as well. They've got the pick, they're allowing North to at least settle down and do what they want to do, and actually, if they feed in towards this B site up against the solo Config, it is going to be a perfect setup here from the T side. Met MSL.
As you start to back off, yeah, the rotate comes through as well, going to be situated towards that B1 site now. They are going to take the aggression. They have a lot of utility left to play with. Meanwhile, the same cannot be said for North. One Molotov and a flashbang to try and ward off this encroaching push. Surely the terrorists should be able to slip their way in. Flashbang is used from Config, tries to do some damage with that M4, but can't actually connect any shots. MSL will only claim one head as he lobotomizes this Nico, but it's just left on AZ now. A 1 versus 3 that is essentially already too far gone. Surely this man can't achieve anything with a backstab comes through, but AZ able to reposition his crosshair in the nick of time, takes down Snappy, but is forced to retreat. Upgrades to the AWP as well to try and help out Cajun into the next round, but this will be the first one on the board for Heroic.
Still lots of money to save for North, considering they have, have these flawless rounds. You didn't see them lose anyone on that rifle either, aside from Magis. So, yeah, North are actually okay, despite Heroic picking up their first one. A potential reset on the board as well. If this CT side actually picks up the next rifle round, Heroic will be forced down to $1,400 on the loss bonus. It's a very basic stuff here. And AZ, keeping that up as well is going to be good for the economy. Cajun doesn't have to reinvest, and they won't be able to reach him from this position. They're only just leaving the B site in case he did attempt that, because realistically, a 1v2 is definitely on the cards, but his HP going to incapacitate him from doing so. So finally, round for Heroic. They lose 3, which is going to stunt their economy a little bit, but they will be able to afford the buy.
Yeah, the buy obviously coming back through now, as they just had so much money to play with. Config seemed like he might have been discussing whether they actually wanted to go for that secondary AWP buy. We saw how powerful he can be with the weapon yesterday when he really displayed his full potential, but in the end opts to go for the M4. No real reason to run that risk just yet, as it's only one round they've let slip. Jugi Meanwhile, as he makes his approach round, we'll see if he can get the openers as the CTs are going very aggressive into this round. They're trying to capitalize early. They take the fight towards Playground. KGB with the opener as well. Upon Jugi taking down the AWP. Nico also falling, leaves them in such an awkward situation. Once again, the bomb is dropped in a tight spot. It's going to be so awkward for them to try and pick this round back up. MSL as well, confidence on display as he goes for the aggressive peek. KGB holding the other angle. The T's are penned in right now. They have no answer.
This is so aggressive from North. They could just back off, but they want to hold on to the bomb for longer, and KGB will do exactly that as he drops Snappy, trying to come back around the edge. MSL with only one flashbang now, so he can't hold out these heroic players for too much longer, but he can definitely shoot them on the opener as they start to push on in. He only has 7 bullets, but Cajun's there to support. Uses one more. Probably needs to swap out a gun here, but it's not going to matter because Magisk, he's on the backstab looking for Valdi and he finds him. What a great round for North. So far, they are keeping so many people alive. If we have a look on the scoreboard and see how many people they've lost in these previous rounds that North have been winning, it's probably not very many. So I'm very interested to see how good their economy is. Look at this, almost flawless rounds. Aside from one there, this has just been great from North.
Yeah, obviously they're looking good. The same cannot be said for Heroic, though. They haven't had really a chance to get their economy into good standings. They've been reset as well, so as the buy comes back through, it is just a measly one. They've scavenged whatever they could find in their Nanzatic, and they're just going to try and wield it. But still, 2 UMPs in play. They have those upgraded pistols as well. The only silver lining is they have a fair amount of utility to actually work with. 3 smokes to play with, so they will be able to try and divide a site if need be into the late round. But the worrying factor is they still need to get those kills, and their arsenal just isn't good enough.
They will be bursting out through short, it seems. A smoke set up from Modi. Snappy's going to move Molotoving down into Graffiti deep, and now they're going to start to push. AZ's playing close, and we have enough players from North to deal with this one, but the Tech 9 is going to be dangerous. Apparently not enough, as MSL gets himself 2 quick kills, picking up from the heavens. Config follows up as well, and a couple of trades from Yugi. Good damage to the Deagle here, but he's got to worry about MSL coming in from the back as he picks up 2 more. This man, Jackie, it's happening again. He's on fire. We saw that incredible aggression pushing down into the playground previous round, and now we see him picking up a 4K. What is this man on?
Yeah, I know. Leading by example. I mean, that's what you want, right? When your in-game leader steps up that massively, rallying the rest of the troops that are playing under him, this is really going to fire his teammates up. It's huge to see MSL being able to step up so massively individually. Obviously, they didn't have the best buy over on Heroic, and he has actually had quite a few impact frags as well, though. They've not always been sort of stat padding. He has been looking very effective in his individual performance. Into this round once again, though, Heroic, still no cash flow. It's awkward. They're just getting taken down so simply as well. MSL still just going on the aggressive faces. He knows they won't be able to do anything to him. He has the advantage. Why wouldn't you take the aggressive angle? Magic's as well. Nade goes in, pulls something out from under his sleeve, trying to show off his magic tricks as he takes them down. Easy pickings as he gets the 3K hat trick.
Clean stuff again from North, and finally we're going to be seeing a pause called out here from the side of Heroic. I can only imagine. Although I've been saying that so many times this event, I've been going, oh yeah, no, it's a tactical pause, and you're like, no, it's a technical. So, you know, I've been getting unlucky, but I'm going to assume that this is going to be an actual tactical pause here from Heroic.
Yeah, it's a tactical pause for Heroic. That's come out because obviously, I mean, it's a technical pause, sorry.
Is
so,
it actually technical pause?
Yeah, that's my bad.
Where's the tactical pause then? That's my question. It's 8-1. North are absolutely rinsing Heroic, and why are we seeing no tactical pauses? I mean, I guess it's the same thing in theory, right?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, though. They can't really sort of discuss too much here, but the thing is, it does slow North down. That's the only kind of redeeming factor. Obviously, that will try and get things sorted there. One of the players has timed out, so he'll be rejoining the server, and then we'll be underway, continuing the matchup. But still, you know, it slows down North a little bit in terms of them being able to pick up rounds so rapidly and really getting that confidence behind them. Now they're going to be like, oh, come on, we just want to get on with the game. You know, we're dominating right now. We're looking good. Cash flow, though, has been kind of the main point. We haven't really seen Heroic in a stable economy situation ever.
No, we've been seeing them mostly eco up these ones, which has been allowing MSL to go huge as well. You know, it's easy to take down ecoing players or force buying players, especially when you're over on that CT side and just hold an angle, right? So good stuff so far from North, obviously, and being clamped down on the economy. And not only is the fact that Heroic's money is low, but on the flip side, North's money is great, right? Keeping 5 players alive on the majority of these rounds, and even 4 on you know, all of them apart from 1. They are building up a lot of cash. And if we look at the scoreboard there, we can see, you know, 10k is the very almost minimum aside from Config, who just have to reconnect, and yeah, some players even up to 16k. So much money on the side of North right now, and I think that's going to continue. And even if Heroic finally do get themselves back in this matchup, you got to take into account they got to win quite a few before they force North to eco.
Yeah, their economy's good. It is going to take a while before they actually do too much damage to actually wean them off and force them into an awkward situation in terms of their buy. Now, that being said as well, Cajun obviously on the AWP, I mean, he doesn't even really need to whip it out right now. The rest of his teammates are doing so much work individually with those rifles. They've been able to get these opening frags. The only good thing is he's been getting huge impact frags on Jugi. Jugi's not been able to do anything with his orb because the peaks he's been taking, Cajun's been shutting him down like that.
Well, we've only seen him pick it up maybe once or twice this whole game as well, so that really is an issue when we're 9 rounds into the match. But yeah, I mean, there's no real need for him. I've been liking the setup so far from North. It's interesting to see how MSL is going so aggressive on the CT side, him pushing up with the support Cajun. We saw that one round where they obviously took that playground control really fast, smoked in deep, Cajun supported back from long so he could at least back off if his teammate got traded, and MSL just sat in close, re-smoking over towards the playground so they could hold the bomb for as long as possible, allowing the rotation to come in from Magix and behind in the underpass. So right now, the setups from North look very, very good. Cajun, when he is needed, is going off with the AWP, and MSL, strangely enough, continuing his performance over from against Na'Vi the other day, is on fire.
Yeah, this is crazy to see as well, because that's the thing, when you're coming in that hot just as the IGL, you just really get your teammates on that extra level. It's awesome to see as well, because now I'm playing with basically everything in their favor. They're firing from all cylinders, and we were scared about seeing this, because this is what, you know, they displayed on that first map up against Na'Vi. Everyone was on point, landing their shots, very simple stuff, no mistakes were made, it seemed like communication was on point, and Heroic as well. This is a shame for them, because they are definitely a team that can try and lock things down, but they need to get themselves into some kind of situation to have that to work with.
Yeah, they Heroic themselves very rarely manage to upset North and take maps away from them, which is why it is difficult for them coming into this one. But fact of the matter is, again, you got to look at North. Let's just say the average day MSL is not really at the top of the scoreboard. We expect him near the bottom, but again, he is cooling, so we don't expect as much individually from him. When he's not doing great, the rest of his team are always there to kind of support him, and they still do very well without him fragging crazy. So when he is fragging crazy like he is, and he still has his teammates pulling up as well, it's just almost impossible for Heroic, and that does dictate the score. That is dictated by the scoreline, at least, and being 8-1, and you know, looking more and more dominant by the second with the money being built up. But at least Heroic now will be back on their bye. Again, another issue, no AWP on Yugi. It's going to be limited to that sense, but we've got full AK, so decent enough buy here from the T side. The issue is, can they make anything work for it? I feel like they need to hold maybe a bit of a default early on in the round. But that being said, they're really not getting any control in terms of Fountain's control. Typically, on 99% of the rounds, you should see T's instantly get that Fountain control. But North have been so aggressive pushing up towards a Fountain, pushing up towards long and playground, that even then Heroic is struggling, which is really odd.
Well, that's the thing though, not going for that default early when they're the CT side's playing so aggressive. You don't have any really way to catch them off guard. They're peeking into these angles, they get into positions that normally would be kind of effective, but then instantly just get taken down because they don't expect them to still keep going for these aggro pushes round in, round out. And it's kind of awkward, right? Because we're always losing that first member on the side of Heroic. They're never being able to get the opening frag, and the thing is as well, they haven't really even been able to get trades. So let's see if things are going to be different as we jump our way back in. Obviously, Heroic versus North. Let's get things back underway.
Yeah. Bit of limited utility from the side of Heroic. They've got the full smokes, which is important, obviously, but not the full Monty indeed. Config is reconnected, and hopefully everything is good over in that regard, and North is still back on the buy here. Occasionally got to be on the orb. Not really a team that constantly picks up the double orb here. We occasionally see it, but it's not really a factor that they need to take into account. And at least Heroic have established a default early on. They've got that Fountain control. They're trying to take underpass, but look at the position of Magix. He's holding the wrong angle, trying to jump up on top of that platform there, and Nico will take him down. MSL trades, and now he just needs to back off. He doesn't need to overextend, because while a 4v4 will favour Heroic, if he pushes up anymore and gets taken down, that could be detrimental to the side of North.
It's true. Right now, they are in a position that favours them. But Heroic, they just need to keep this train going on as steady as possible. Don't run any risks, don't get derailed. They will reposition, take their play towards that B-bomb set though. 2 CTs there, ready to try and ward them off. 2 CTs stacked towards A as well. Smart stuff, as they get the information, they can try and hold this crossfire. AZ, also on the site. Not really the man you want to be walking onto, especially when he has the backup of Config that's been playing phenomenally so far. And displaying that as well as he connects the headshot upon Modi. He goes back for more as he still does damage. Taking down Snappy, great work done. Those opening 2 kills have essentially given North this round, as AZ, you'd imagine, will be able to clean things up here. They slip their way on towards the bomb site, but they're in such an awkward situation now. The smoke down as well. AZ right moment to strike. He does peek out like a Cobra, trying to latch onto them, but he can't quite get the frags. The bomb goes down just in the nick of time. The T's backing off as well. The backstab! You thought MSL would have been able to do damage there, but Jugi landing the headshot upon him leaves them in a 2 versus 2.
Wrapping back round over towards short though, and I think North are going to work this one out. Oldest trick in the book right here is Valdi. He pushes up towards a position. They've not got on the bomb yet, and they don't have any utility to hold these players off here on the T side. Cajun's post up, but with the pistol, not the orb, expecting the quick refrag or trade to come in, but he will stick the bomb. AZ supporting, nice quick kill. There's not enough time. Yugi can't stop him, and AZ's gone big. 2 quick kills as Cajun sticks the bomb, and North, they've got themselves a 9th.
Very well done there. They worked their way through, obviously, a round that looked like it could have gone sour towards the end, but smart stuff. Get yourself on the bomb, easy kill. As soon as you got that opening frag, that was kind of when things were job done at that point. AZ, very easy angle to hold in the secondary peak. So came round, just locked it down. Heroic as well. Still no money to play with. Juki cannot get the AWP out. It's not going to be going his favor just yet. This is so awkward for Heroic in the situation they've been left in. Oh, they're going to just go for an aggressive burst towards that B bomb site, it seems. Slowing down a little bit now, possibly this contact style as they work their way through. But once again, I mean, they're just walking into the jaws of Config, but it's not going to go that way. Snappy kicks things off with an absolute bang as he lands that headshot. This is what they needed, that moment of just aggression, this display. But MSL starts to fire back, makes the situation more manageable, especially when AZ's there to try and backstab, pulling out these frags. Easy pickings come through, leaving Snappy and Jugi left to try and make it work. Jugi goes down. Snappy would have to do the unthinkable if he wants to pick up this round.
No utility. That Molotov has to go down. He won't be able to push in through it. You can see Cajun's repositioning, maybe getting hungry for the peak here with the AWP. The bomb dropped so easily in the hands of North. Snappy's got a huge task ahead of him. May not even be worth committing to. Nades are still going to continue to fly on in. North are just whittling him down bit by bit like sandpaper. As Snappy, he holds the angle, waits for North to overextend, finds himself a smoke on the floor. We'll pop that out, but that means they now know that he is still committed to this position as he continues to push right on. There is a player over in heaven, that's Magisk. So even if he does get out on the site, he can't go anywhere because he'll just be holding him, delaying or denying any kind of flank. And right now, Snappy, he's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. It seems impossible. I don't think he really wants to receive no loss bonus, considering it is out next here for Heroic. So he's actually going to attempt something, but I can barely blame him. AZ takes the head off, and North 10-1. He needed that money, but there wasn't really a lot of hope for him to actually do anything.
Yeah, he had to just try and run the risk. Hope he could achieve something there, but it didn't go that way. And already this is such a crazy dominant half, right? 10 rounds on the board for North, working their way through. We knew they'd probably be able to pick up this opening map. Now finally as well the double AWP setup comes out. This just makes it even more awkward for Heroic. They do actually have those upgraded pistols though. Potentially, if they can get up close and personal and overwhelm one of those AWPs, there's a chance. But these AWPs should easily just get some opening frags and really penalise Heroic. Magisk though kicking it off as he goes for the aggressive play. Once again, just standard stuff on display. Jugi trying to utilise the deagle, does catch him off guard and connects a couple of bullets into his back, takes him down. MSL though, this could be huge.
A rifle secured, and Yugi, he's going to make it work. He's the only player left on the team without armor. I was criticizing it, maybe I take it back, as he does the damage, destroying MSL, and AZ repositioning to try and put it back into a 3-on-3. He's going to have his teammate to support as well as Cajun pushes up with the AWP. I like this reactive play from North. They know what's going on in the Heroic eyes, and Cajun, he's just going to pick it off. Now they can back on down. Is going to commit to AZ as he continues to push down towards that angle, but after getting spotted, he can't afford to risk it. Has to drop back down as Valdi charges into the B site. One player here, that's Config, finds the first. Can he do more? Yes, it can. Takes down Modi, and there's a third as well. Config, of course, takes down all three. North have got themselves 11 rounds.
Fabulous hat-trick coming out there from Config. He always is a powerhouse when he dons the AWP. Great to see him being able to do such world-class work there on the defense towards the B-bomb site. Looked like Heroic potentially were going to get an opening round on the board and try and at least get 2 to play with, but it was not meant to be. And the thing is, 1 round of a buffer is all they have. If they lose the pistol, it is as good as done at this point. They just have no answers. The AWP will come out, though, over on Jugi. This could be a bit of a game changer, potentially, but Cajun going to try and show how to wield the weapons. Goes for the aggressive peek. Won't get anything just yet, though. Repositioning, though. If he takes that fight towards maybe the backup of his teammates, they definitely could get some opening frags. Nico, he can be a star player. He can be an artist with the AK if you get him into the right position. But what can he actually achieve here? Very up close and personal up against CCTs. Another smoke will go in, though. Smart stuff. Delaying so much time, wasting a lot of time to play for these Heroic players. They're not going to run the risk of pushing through it.
North with the double up is fun to see as well, because it's not a very common thing that they seem to pick up. Config seems to be the guy who at least takes it. We saw a bit on Cobble over against Na'Vi yesterday, but other than that, it's really not a common attitude for North. And it's typically only when they're stomping. They never really bring it out as a saver when they're having issues. And I love that. Look at the flashbang going over. MSL just knows what's up. He takes a kill onto Modi, and typically, as we talk about, not the entry frag, but he's just the one going for the rushing, and the aggressive peeks here on the CT side, gets himself a free kill, peeks out for more. That's Config there, but Yugi actually finally will retaliate. It's back into a 4-on-4. We have a boost on top of the site. North may be able to catch Valde out here, moving back into the connector, but actually AZ drops on back down. Doesn't want to commit just yet, as the smokes are going to rain on over Nico. He's pushed in, looking for some dirty damage as he chases down, but it's MSL to fall in through the smoke. Valde finds the opener. It's AZ now, solo towards the back of the site as the rotations have to come in for North. He needs to stop one. He needs to deny another player, and he will do so, looking for the second, but Snappy does retaliate.
No Cajun, elevated angle in play though, has the back off Magics as well as they're coming from all angles. There is potential, but they need to turn this back into a 2 versus 2. If they can create some 1 versus 1s here, make the frags a little bit easier for them, then it will go their favour. Valde though, taking the aggressive stance as he pushes his way through. Cajun might be caught off guard, but it doesn't matter actually. Juki will come in with the execute frag as he takes down Magis. Valde as well, biding his time before he gets the headshot upon Cajun, taking him down. Heroic get their second round on the board, but is it too late?
Well, they could bring it back this half, but if they don't end up with this half with at least 4 rounds, it's going to be a very difficult one, right? Because a 12-3, which is, I guess, possible here for the side of Heroic, is going to be still so favourable for North, because all it requires is that pistol round, converting the 2 anti-ecos, and then Heroic will be, 15 rounds against them, back up against the wall. So, yeah, they need 4, really. If they can do that, it's a tall order, especially considering North will be able to buy up for the next 2 rounds. But let's have a look and see if Heroic can at least get the damage done. MSL actually getting sprayed down through smoke, maybe a bit too unfortunate. I think Valde may have heard the door open there as he sprays on down. Wally going to be following up as well, taking down Config on the other side of the map towards B. And this is good stuff so far. They picked up 2 players on the side of North, but I'm still not scared. The CTs are so dangerous, but Yugi apparently more so as he removes the head of Magisk. This should be a done deal for Heroic.
Definitely so. Great opening frags have been going their way. They're looking like they should be able to at least get this 3rd round on the board right now. AZ and Cajun, the last 2 men left standing. Surely they can't achieve anything here. They are players that can turn the tide. But in this scenario, it should be way too far gone. The ship has sailed. Repositioning though, the T's slowly making their approach. They don't want to run the risk of throwing this away, so they wolf back up and take their approach towards B.
Yeah, safest option, keep as many players alive, and obviously, while they haven't built up a lot of cash left on this T side, they're going to want at least 3 players alive so they can have that full buy into the last one without anything limited at all. And that's going to be most beneficial, so walk on in. It's going to be Nico leading the charge as per usual here, but actually they're just waiting a little bit of time and maybe setting up some utility. They have so much of it, there's no reason to not use it in this round. 30 seconds left, and AZ's posted close. May be able to spray down 1 or 2 here, but a late rotation will be coming in from Cajun. And AZ's actually more so playing for the retake as he backs off towards short, but may actually peeking quickly, and he does, but Yugi, again, the man to snap back. He takes another kill, all onto Cajun, and he may as well save the AWP.
Oh, won't be allowed to. Denied by Yugi there as he connects it. Fantastic displays come out. This is what we wanted to see, the AWP madness coming out from him. As soon as the economy allowed it, it's really changed the flow of the game. Once they had economy to play with, the buyers have been coming through, they've been looking good. They've actually had some answers. Now, North, they have money though. Going into what could be the final, well, what is the final round here, going to be deciding these overarching scorelines. I mean, if North get this and go through with that 12-3 scoreline, it is still very scary. 4 rounds, still it's not great, but it's a whole lot better than the 3 that Heroic already have. They need to try and pick this one up. They have to keep this aggression on display and try and work their way through to get that slightly better scoreline. Jugi holding the angle, knows they've been going for these aggressive peaks towards long. If they do, they'll be ready to snap.
And this is the worst buy North have had in 10 rounds now. They haven't had a worse buy since the 4th round where they had still some SMGs in play that Heroic managed to take away. But still, this is enough to get the job done, right? They've got the AWP, they've got the rifles, but can they land the headshots? Yugi can through the tree, going to expect it. He's 1 step ahead. Magisk is playing checkers, and Yugi is playing chess.
Unreal there as he gets the opening frag. Huge play coming out for the man. T's forced to reposition as well now as they start to back off, making their play what seems to be towards that B bomb site. Meanwhile, the CT's dazed and confused off the back of the opening frag. Really not a good situation to be in for them. Limited utility as well. They only have 1 smoke to try and delay the T's. As soon as that smoke towards Monster goes, they're going to have an easy way in towards the bomb site. The Stars have a line from them. The welcome out will be down.
Let's see if they can get on in. Smoke's going to be placed. This double close position here from Config and AZ could be dangerous. Good trade potential, but they're going to run right in through the smoke here. Flashbang comes through and Config's fully blind, but he's going to run out into the open. What is he doing? He gets shot in the chest. AZ does follow up with 2, but Valde quickly gets back on the trigger, and now it's back into a 2-on-3. Snappy follows up again. MSL has been found, and Cajun is close, but he has to pick up something huge here. It's the last round of the half, but Snappy says no. And Heroic, they're starting their comeback, but can they continue? Find out after the break.
back. We've just witnessed a crazy opening half there from North. 11-4 is the scoreline, much like all of the games have been this week, interestingly enough. But obviously, it is an interesting one because Heroic, they had a couple of moments. It seemed like their prayers were answers towards the end of that half. As soon as Jugi got back on the AWP, that was the game changer.
Yeah, a slow burn and maybe a bit too slow as they only pick up 4 rounds in the end, but at least they get the last few to give them something to work with going into that second half. Again, now they have a bit of a buffer. If they lose that pistol round, it will only be up to 14. I say only, but at least they can come back and not have to play against a map point, right? So realistically, they could get back into the matchup given the pistol round, but it is a tall order. It is a long, road back into the victory. But Yugi, as you say, doing very well, top of the scoreboard currently for Heroic, on fire with the AWP, and if they can maintain that economy to start off on the CT side, he could continue that.
It's true. They need to get themselves into that position, though, and that's always the scary factor with an 11-4 half. You just don't really have much of a buffer. Your economy is always kind of taking a hit if you don't get the opening pistol round, and then you basically don't even get a second half, because if you don't get those opening pistol rounds, the game's basically already over. So there's a chance we won't even see that coming out.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult. But again, we got to come down and watch the match, right? We got to see what Heroic can bring to the table. If they can have a flashy pistol round, if they can pick something up that's similar to the setup that we saw North do over on their CT pistol, the aggression up towards the party area, maybe Heroic have a good setup up their sleeve. And if they do, and they take away this pistol round, I've got hope for them. I've got some belief that they can actually pull this one back. Because while it is a grave situation that they are in, Yugi, Nico, these players, they are game changers for Heroic.
It's true. So let's find out if that is going to be the case as we work our way back in. 11-4 is the scores. Heroic obviously now on that CT half. Let's see what they can actually bring to the table here. The aggression coming through early as they try and take that fight. Not really being able to get too much from it, though. They take their way round, slipping into the back line now. Ooh, Nico actually does get an opener upon MSL. That's fairly effective. They cleaned out that entire side of the map, but they've left the welcome out on B. It's just Snappy there to try and hold them back, and he can't really do too much on his own. There will be a huge backstab coming through, though.
Yeah, I like that. I like the aggression early on, but it's actually going to come back to haunt them here as North have full control of the round so far. The Magic's player pushing all the way up. Oh no, it's a whiff there from Snappy. Such low HP, and he doesn't expect Magic to not check the corner as he goes down. It's a 2v2. Doable on the retake, but AZ going to get a quick dink. That'll make things harder. Yugi's now low. One shot's going to be required, and that's all that he needs to land. There we go. It's through. Yugi's dead, and AZ's hunting for more, but maybe a bit too hungry as Valdi does return fire. Magic's peeking out, but Valdi, he's done it. 3 kills that round, the 1v2 clutch, and Heroic, they've pulled it back by the skin of their teeth.
Well, huge round there towards the end. I mean, that 3K coming out is crazy. Magisk as well. It's interesting to see, obviously, as he walks around, not clearing the angle. It kind of seemed like the ship had sailed at that point when Snappy did miss the opening frag. Not having the best game. And usually that's the thing as well with Snappy. When he actually steps up and performs, you see Heroic definitely doing a whole lot better. When Snappy's kind of on the sidelines, not really being able to get too much behind him, that's when they seem to struggle.
Yeah, I do agree. But AZ there, I feel like he could have backed off after committing to the first kill. He got that quick kill onto Yugi over on the site in the 2v2, taking the man advantage back, and they just overfaced onto Valdi, and that was kind of the reason they lost the round. I guess there wasn't a lot of time left on the bomb, but a bit of overconfidence there. Sometimes it makes sense, but that was such a close position, especially in an important pistol round like this. It's really put Heroic on the front seat now, as AZ, the man himself, going to be setting up towards B. We have North looking for this fast burst play. No utility to work with. No heads either as Muddy removes the first one there. Long range UMP, but Heroic, I like the setup. Playing for retake, switching things up towards the CT side as 2 sit in towards the heavens. It's still going to be North trying to take control. And a free bomb plant should be granted as long as the nades don't remove any more. But Valdi looking in for a 4th. And there we go. This round is just going to be closed out by Heroic. And despite playing for retake, they don't even allow the bomb to be planted.
This is good as well. They needed this. You work your way through. It was a close pistol round, but the instant bounce back in. Smart buy comes through. They tear it up with it as well. Unfortunately, 2 of those kills actually go into Valde with the M4, so they're not going to get as much cash as was possible. But at least they are stopping the bomb plant from going down. They're forcing North to lose all members. They're looking pretty good as they work their way into it. And the thing is as well, this is important for them because we said we needed to see that ult buy coming out. The best case scenario was if they did get those opening rounds. Jugi actually has money in the bank. He has a bit of a buffer, so when he wants to try and go for the ult buy, which will be now, he can whip it out, and it really will be a game changer.
This is the weird one, right? Because they're going for the bonus round, keeping 3 UMPs, which makes sense when you have an equal matchup or in the start of a game. But this is the thing, if they allow North to get this free round and get up to 12 because they have a bonus buy, that's quite dangerous, because North are, again, very close to finishing off this match. So actually seeing Heroic take this huge risk and not reinvesting in rifles could come back to haunt them. But not when Yugi's alive, because he opens things up like that.
Yep, great confidence on display. Once again, another frag going his way, leaving 4 men left alive at this point on the side of North. So early into the round as well. That is a dominant opener as he slipped his way through there. Now, falling back as well, the CT's playing it smart. Why would they overextend at this point? You get the opening frag, back off, just holding these crossfire angles at where they just play close towards the site. This is smart.
Definitely. And North rerouting back towards B. MSL coming in through the connector to try and split out through the short area. He can have the support as they come in through the tunnels at the same time, I'd only assume. North just playing this one slow and calculated. And MSL, he's not going to peek here until they take positions over towards the tunnel, so they can at least trade if need be, and they will. They spot it, it's clear. He can now push out, take their control, the rest of them feeding the way out through long, and MSL at the same time splitting up through short. There's only 2 close defenders on the site, but make that one. AZ's removing the first and the second. Good entries from the man himself. And North, they've got themselves back into this round. Heroic Spy has fallen apart.
Crazy stuff as they work their way back into it. It looked like it should have been shut down early, right? Heroic with that opener. Seemed like things could have already been too far gone, but start smart as they started to reposition. Modi, though, on the entry, slips his way in. This is fantastic. Just the moment of individual breakness that they needed. AZ, though, will fire back, connects the headshot upon Nico. Molotov goes in to try and force the hand of Magix, but luckily he'll be able to brush out of there undetected. Modi keeping up this aggression, connects another headshot, takes down AZ, will try and jump on the bomb. Jugi can try and cover him, but they don't have much time left to play with. Jugi, headshot goes through, confused about the position of the final player, and Magix, as he repositions by short, comes in with the spray down, but Jugi does the work. The hat trick comes through. Luckily, they have that kit on Modi as well. Just as they leaped on the bomb, they had enough time.
That's the thing. You could see Modi was confused and holding the upper position. That was the reason because of that, the bomb was planted in such a weird position for sure. If North usually want to hold that down from a short after plant, they should have it posted behind the big box, at least in cover from heaven. But the thing is there, they all backed off. Modi jumps on the bomb and he realizes that it's so open that they could be anywhere in the map holding it. So actually that is confusing, but it actually works out for Heroic because he could have even stuck the bomb without being seen over from short. And Heroic coming back in with a deficit, 3-on-4, and making it work. And that's the thing, that bonus buy worked out very, very well because now they can fully commit to rifles up against North, just again, relegated to pistols here.
Yeah, it was a buy that was very risky, but it pays off in the end, and that's the most important factor, is that risk-reward. As they did make it work. Now in the situation they're in with these rifles, they're going to feel complimented. They're going to feel very easy. Jugi as well, though, with the opener. Unfortunately, it will not be a kill just yet. Mortar Spike does roll in, though. Is that going to connect this frag? Unfortunately not. Still left alive on 6 HP, though. Molotov will force them back for just a bit more time. Jugi, aware of their positioning, knows this will be the A play, but MSL, Deagle in hand, absolutely deadly as he connects that dirty shot. They now start to reposition as well, getting ready, revving their engines as they bang on the door. Push comes through, but it's Nico and Valde to clean it up almost immediately. Modi as well to connect that headshot upon MSL. Heroic, as soon as they got those lines of sight there, everyone got executed by the firing range.
Here's where things get dangerous. Cajuns on the AWP. We have the full buy from North. Nothing holding back, and utility is going to be plentiful here for the T-side as Heroic, yes, still able to continue with their buy, but now it's a chance here for the T-side Danes to actually get back into this matchup. And I say get back into. They are winning, but yes, they haven't won a single round this half just yet. Heroic on a 4-0 streak and looking like they want to continue it, but no aggression this time from the CT side. They are holding back far more passively, and I understand it because obviously so far the aggression's been good, but this time North are more so going to hold a default and expect it. The only aggression we have is Nico pushed up towards the edge of long, but look at the support there from Yugi. He's holding back towards the plant pots anyway, so even if Nico does get overrun, Yugi can support with the AWP.
Making their approach through though, North, knowing that Heroic are getting very close to actually getting themselves onto an equal scoreline here, they want to throw a stump into the works and try and slow it down, but Jugi, aggressive peak once again. This man is an absolute machine when it comes to using the AWP, but Cajun B, he knows how to wield one so effectively as well, but Jugi, the angle complements it. Easy kill back, the trades come through, shutting down North into this round almost instantaneously. They try and fall back to the site now, but Jugi keeps it going. Frag after frag comes out right now. It's a 3K on the board, and he is showing no signs of stopping.
See, the thing is, I've been repping Jugi since day one. I think a lot of people told me I overhype him, but he is really destroying right now in such a crucial matchup as well. But can they win the round? That's the question. Valde spotted out towards long. Is going to see Config as he sneaks on his way out. No reason to commit to the fight, but he's going to check it eventually. He's got to work out where Config is, and he will. And he'll actually remove the head as well as Snappy comes in for support. AZ, good wallbang damage there onto the first player. But now he's got to get 4 more if he wants to close out this round. Pushing on into the side. 20 seconds left. He's not got a lot of time for this one. And he's going to get dinked as well. A repeat coming out from Valde. That's a free one as AZ only has to land 1 more bullet. But again, there's still 14 seconds. And Modi's holding the angle to completely deny him to push onto the site. And I really... kills Yugi's on. 20 and 14 right now. Ripping North limb by limb.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, literally just single-handedly dispatching them right now. A fantastic first half as well as they've come through. I mean, they needed this on their CT half. They've already got those 5 rounds on the board. This is what they had to achieve to try and get themselves back into the game. They're so close as well. 2 rounds away from actually equalizing that scoreline and then possibly doing one better as well. Jugi, aggressive peek comes through. This time no frag will be claimed. They don't actually get the opening initial kill.
Yeah, if they win this one, they're up to 11-11 basically, because North won't be able to buy unless they get a bomb down. Snappy, quick kills towards short, 2 delayed from North. They're going to be removed, and he can just back off passively as well. No reason to continue to commit to the fight as he's taken a 5-on-3 straight away for Heroic, and almost out of nowhere, Nico as well, through the smoke, just going to take down MSL. North, they look lost here, 1 by 1. They're just getting eliminated, no ability to trade at all. Cajun's got to try and pick up the pieces as he comes in towards that B site, but there are 2 players on the other side of the wall here, just holding. As you can see, first one going to spot him. Snappy going to be there. It's Config now alone. And he is outside of the playground here on his own, trying to push up towards the A site.
Config left in this 1 versus 5. Surely this round is as good as done. He might be able to do some damage to the economy, but that should be about it. Slowly makes his approach round as he wants to try and slip his way through into toilets. He still has time to play with, so he might as well just run the risk, I assume, at this point. Doesn't really want to try and go for that save, as it will be a very long one. Up close and personal, though. Nico is right by him. If he clears the angle, it'll be an easy frag. Makes some noise. Config does try and check it. Jugi as well, backing off, isn't going to be watching the angle. Trying to get the headshot, will do so in the end. The spray control comes through as he slips his way out towards the bomb site. Oh, nearly connecting the second kill on to Nico, but it was not meant to be. Now, finally, a tactical pause will come out, though, from North. They've decided that things have got a little bit hectic. They have actually made a huge comeback, so we want to try and discuss what's gone wrong and how can they adapt and fix this.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because we saw them do great on the CT side. Now switching over to T, we're actually seeing Heroic play quite passively. A lot of the rounds they're just getting picked, from passive positions. And while North had great effect going for that aggressive CT style, it doesn't seem like Heroic need to recreate that. They are typically just holding double setups and having good trades. So North maybe need to switch something up. Maybe go for that burst play. We haven't seen a lot of it. We saw a couple of them earlier on in the match, but that was when Heroic had all these UMPs, right? Great at close ranges. So now that they're back on rifles, maybe North could try this fast B or split quickly up towards the A site. Something to switch up the pace, because the thing is, they're just playing it far too slowly, getting picked in their default, and Heroic just being able to, like we saw Snappy in that previous round, push up towards short, spray down 2, and then just run back, and then pretty much the round's over, right? Because what can you do if you're North to get back into that round? Yeah,
that's true. It's been very awkward for them, and obviously Jugi, as we said, he kind of is that impact fragger. We needed to see that. The economy did not allow it at all in the first half. He wasn't able to do anything, right? And then as soon as they've actually had money to play with off the back of a crazy opening pistol round, they've just been so dominant. He's been able to get constant sort of 2 or 3 kills into the rounds that have just changed everything. That is really quite big. If he can keep that up as well, that's going to be such an impactful factor.
And we even saw that come into account at the end of the first half. While they were losing it, yes, he still finally got the open in the last 4 rounds and actually pulled them back to allow Heroic to get that 11-4 half. It's already got the last 3. So yeah, now we're going into this one. The money really is a huge factor for Heroic, and we're going to see this burst play that I like. This time they're only on pistols, so it's a bit limited here for the side of North, but they are going to charge on in. Maybe a bomb plant could be allowed, and maybe some kills as well. MSL opening up once again. It's going to be Valdi to trade and finds another as well. Snappy looking in for more, but he will eventually be dropped. And North, they're good in this round so far, but look at the push from Valdi. So ballsy. They're huge as he jumps on into the short area. Going to be trying to look for a couple of kills. Config's backed off, and the bomb isn't planted as well, which is quite unfortunate for North.
The final frag goes through as well. Config being taken down. Easy kills come through for Valde. That is so huge. His rifle prowess on display there.
He aced that round. That's crazy. Obviously anti-eco, but North not able to get the bomb down in that position. I feel like they could have. I feel like they got aggressively. You saw those 2 positions that Valdi took down as he jumped on into the site, and they were almost like post-plant positions, but the bomb wasn't even down, so it was kind of like, where's the plant? You need that money. That's the main reason you're here. Now we see an equal scoreline. Heroic really have pulled this game back, and I did say it was possible, but I didn't think it was going to be likely as we went into this one. Snappy going to be close in connector. A bit of a double push. I like this from Heroic. Switching up the pace. Couple of quick kills. And then they just back off back towards that B site. North, a man down. Make that 2 as Yugi follows up. And this is just not the map here for the T side Danes.
It's really not. It's just been so awkward for them. But now North making their approach through as well. Trying to take their push towards the A bomb site. Obviously, this is the round that they use that pause for. This is where that communication was supposed to come into effect when they had the buy in their favor. But it just seems like the same old story. Unable to get those opening kills. Heroic just looking so crazy on the openers and working their way through. And now left with 3 players as well, forced to try and reposition. They don't really have an answer. They're not really too sure where to situate themselves towards. AZ leading the charge with a bomb as well. This could be quite volatile. If they actually find a angle and strike upon him here, the flashbangs do go through to try and allow them to slip their way out. Valdi in the elevated angle, though, this is going to be scary. They don't clear this, it should be easy pickings, but once again, it's Jugi to spark the iron as he comes through, taking down MSL, almost gets a second shot as well. These boosts in play, it's so easy for Heroic to use that range advantage now as they just pick them off one by one, catch them off guard. Cajun be the last man left standing, but he's not for long, now laying down as Jugi puts them in his grave.
How many 3Ks is this man on right now? He is on fire. Another round going to be secured for Heroic. And actually, Valdi slipped in there kind of unnoticed, I think mainly off of the back of that anti-eco ace, but he's up to 20 kills as well. So good performance across some of these players on Heroic. And North, again, another quasi. It's not really enough here at this point. They've got to, but they can't invest obviously because they haven't got enough cash to, but they can't really get anything done with these pistol rounds. They are going to split things back up towards the A site this time, so not going for that fast B. And again, Yugi peeking out for a nice pick. He's going to only get the tag on Cajun, has to back off after that one, realizes what they're going to be having up their sleeves. And 2 tags right now, no kill. This is unfortunate, but good damage done so far, and it is going to be supported by Nico towards shore as he sprays away through the smoke. But what's happening? These pistols are actually getting frags.
These pistols coming into effect as they find these headshots. It's looking good so far. There is potential, but Snappy wants to try and eliminate any chance of that. The headshots come through. Modi with 1, hungry for the second as well as they're left in a 1 versus 2 config. Upgraded to the Kalashnikov as well, but Jugi had the range advantage, had the positional drop on him as well. Able to pull the trigger. Headshot comes through. They get another round on the board. North, they just look broken into these rounds. The AKYs will come in, but even in the past, they just haven't had the right timing. They haven't had the correct plays to utilize these AKs.
Yeah. This is really, really scary to see Heroic actually being able to upset one of these teams. You know, the third best Danish team being able to take away a map from the second best Danish team, and this is only the first of 2 as well. There is potential for them to pick up both and force themselves up to 5th place so far in the EPL standings. They are currently at 9th. Points would dictate them to do so. As you can see though, North aren't done yet. They're still hungry. They want to roar as they make their way into Connector. We have a default set out here from the T side. More so passive, holding this time for Heroic. Waiting to see if they're going to bring anything to the table as MSL opens things up over towards this short area. Going to try and get himself out of the Connector. There's lots of control towards long, but the only short control that was possessed from Heroic is just Modi holding back from the site on a default position. And Heroic just playing things passively here. No reason to get too aggressive, too big for their boost, because they know North are holding right now. They've not seen a thing.
Yeah, well, would they ever extend this scenario? Just hold back, wait for them to make the first mistake, and then capitalise off the back of it. Jugi as well. He's that key player. He's going to be the man to be the difference maker into this round if he can spot out those T's, waiting for the pick to come through. Spots out the arm, goes for the strike as well. A fabulous shot as he lands it upon MSL. Immediately, that is 1 frag in favour of Heroic. And you can see the T's scuttling like ants right now as they reposition, try and focus their assets towards that B bomb site. They have to, as already towards A, they know Jugi's there and they're terrified of him, petrified even, as they reposition, get ready to strike up on B. Using that utility as they slip their way through. Snapping an elevated angle, is forced to drop down as he couldn't actually connect those shots, but can they do anything else now? Push coming in, Snappy trying to achieve something, but Config is too hot to handle, tears his way through them. Valley close on the scene as well, but Nico chucks a nade and blows them out of the server. Config fires that, connecting the headshot, and it falls into a 3 versus 3 affair.
Yeah, bomb needs to go down though, 10 seconds left. They're actually going to push in on the CT side, trying to stop this plant. Occasion, I love his position, it's so aggressive, they might not expect it as well. Modi's just up in the heavens, he needs to see someone though. Yugi going to push on in with the AWP, a bit too preempted there as his teammates weren't supporting, and he will be dropped. Cajun takes back the man advantage, and looking in for more, he won't land it. Nico has a retaliation kill, and now we see a 2v2. Low HP on the side of Heroic, but they've still got a doable round with the utility left in their hands, but no bodies to throw them with, as Config finds another and a second, as he single-handedly closes out that round. It's going to be North to pick it up. Config with a fantastic 4K, and Heroic just wondering where it all went wrong.
That's crazy. That was such an impactful round as well. Looked like it was shut out right at that point. Good retakes started to come through, so much potential for them to actually close the round down, but it was not meant to be. North getting it is huge as well. They're 1 round away from once again equalising. The only scary factor is that Heroic just had so much money to play with. So the buy comes back in. It's not like it even affected them at all. With Jugi still on the AWP, you're going to be trembling in your boots.
Definitely so. But let's see if Heroic can get this reset to force North back down to 1400 on the loss bonus. That could be, well, what could close out the game at this point. I like the boost towards short. Yugi going to be up in this position, trying to spot out anyone from North if they do manage to peek up through this area. Molotov coming down, though. I think North have a bit of knowledge on the whereabouts, but Yugi doesn't care. He still takes a kill as they force himself back. MSL going to be dropped early on, and while I wouldn't say that's usually too much of an issue, he has been one of the few men for North to really step up today to bring the hurt. For him to be relieved so far of that position this early on into the round, this could be a real breaker for North.
It's true. This could be the game changer as they slip their way in. Magic's going to reposition those teammates following suit. Seems like once again the B-bomb site will be under a very heavy hit. They have been able to find moments where they can slip in and try and secure it as their own. But still, Heroic aren't going to want to allow the same mistake to happen again. They won't want history to repeat itself, but let's see if it is going to anyway. Valde close by on the site. Teammates start to rotate to try and aid him as well. Goes for the elevated angle. Easy frag comes through. Valde being aided by Snappy as well as they connected the headshot upon AZ. Config, though, single-handedly starts to claw it back, but they're outnumbered 2-1. This is not a good situation. Snappy is ready to go for the pop flashbang and attack at any moment as well, and his teammates are close by. Config does damage, though, executing the Swedish superstar. Modi out of the round. This could come back to harm them. Snappy with the peek through, though. Easy heal comes in, takes him down. Config left to try and ace the round, tries to, but was not meant to be.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate there with Modi sticking the, not Modi, sorry, side of North actually sticking the bomb plant on the site and allowing Snappy to peek out and deny that. That was huge. Completely turned things around, and with so little time, Config just had nothing to do. I think if he had a few more seconds on that one, he may have been able to actually get that ace, but just too much to ask. You can see right now, MSL up to 20.